Hello and welcome to season 2 of the Leong Form with Hosean and Stanley. This is Stanley. I'm Hosean.
Hosean.
Yeah. He doesn't cook, I do. Because most chefs wear aprons, but not all are cut from the same cloth. In fact, our guest on the Leong Form is quite the unconventional chef. She switched out of corporate life and taught herself to cook. Now, she's neither spent time at any prestigious culinary school overseas or earned Michelin stars to know that she has what it takes to make it. So on the Leong Form today is Chef Shen Tan, who goes by the moniker Own Self-Make Chef.
Own self-make chef. Interesting, right? I mean,
Yeah.
the first time that I came across that moniker, I was like, very Singaporean lah. Maybe own self make this, make that, but she own self make one herself.
Herself,
to become a
exactly.
chef lah. So I love her handle because it speaks volumes of her insuppressible hunger to make good as a chef, and also the inner drive that she has to chase that dream to become one. Now today she's done the circuit. She's covered every F&B concept there is. You can imagine hawker stall holder, restaurateur to private dining chef as well. So Chef Chen, welcome to the Leong Form.
Hi guys.
Hello.
Thank you for having me.
Never bring apron.
Well, I really wonder if there's any other culinary concept that you have not touched.
Just thinking. No, I don't believe so.
Right? You dabbled, or no, dabble, but you've done your fingers in every pie, so to speak.
Yes,
Yeah.
almost. Except probably baking or desserts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but even then, I have an idea which is for vegan ice cream.
Wow.
But
Okay.
that is creamy and lush and just got all that beautiful creamy flavors, but dairy free.
We'll go into vegan stuff in just
them.
a while.
Yeah.
Because I'm very interested to find out about vegan things. Anyway, but my brain hasn't woken up yet, so we're going to set things in motion. We're going to warm up. Okay, we're going to warm up
Okay.
our brains and our tongues, okay, because we're going to savor what you're going to tell us later on. Now, we're going to play a word association game where, Stanley will start first. He'll throw out a word and we both have to associate that word with another word. For example, if I say green, then one of you, the first one will answer like
Grass.
or grass or whatever. Then the next word, grass, will be the next, you associate
Hopper.
the next word.
Okay. Then the other
Then
two.
is the other two,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay, got
so
it.
the fastest buzzer will answer. You get it right 1 point, get it wrong -points, and then we will finish this in 10 minutes. Not that long. 10 minutes. Very long.
Wait, how do you determine what is right?
Yeah, well, you see.
Okay, so one
yeah,
word, one word related to the previous word. Yeah, related to the previous word.
Okay,
If
at the end of the
it's
day-
questionable, we will jump in and like, huh?
And the points don't matter. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Ready, Stanley? Go.
Okay, ready? Yeah. Okay. First word, sambal.
Queen.
What?
Queen.
Queen?
Yeah.
Sambal Queen?
Yes.
Elizabeth.
Taylor.
Robert.
De Niro.
Italian.
Bolognese.
Pasta.
Fresca.
Soda water.
Fresca soda. Oh.
Yeah, it's a soda water.
Wait, sorry. Soda water is 2 words. Soda water.
Soda lah.
Okay.
Soda lah. Okay lah.
Okay.
Well, we warmed up.
Okay,
Not
yes.
bad. Right? This game quite fun, right?
Okay.
All right, let's get to the meat of things, shall we, Stanley?
Let's. All right, so Shen, it's delightful that you're able to make time to spend with us today because we've gone through your little bit of a bio and you've done almost everything there possibly could be in the culinary world. But prior to even you entering F&B, you were doing completely something different, nothing to do with F&B at all. So tell us about what you did prior to, I think, going into F&B only in 2008.
Well, it was an interesting journey, and being a Gen Xer, we always were told go to school, get a university degree, then you can do whatever you want, which is obviously not be a chef or hawker, right?
Yes, lies, all lies.
lies. Yeah, I'm calling you guys on this. But so I graduated in 1994. Yes, I'm very old, as we all are.
Oh, same gen what?
Same gen,
Same
right?
Gen X.
And I joined a company that was in trade publishing. that published a travel publication for the trade, TTG, as well as organize exhibitions. So that's how I got started. I actually worked in exhibitions and marketing and events. And fast forward, I guess, to 14 years, I was at Forbes magazine. I was the events director there, organizing the Forbes Global CEO Conference for the most powerful and richest people in the world.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so So from that background, what was that turning point for you then? Because, season 2, we the Leong Form talks about people's turning points. For you to suddenly go, let's go to the kitchen.
Yeah, I mean, and with Forbes and doing these high-profile events.
So you know what it was? Let me set the stage. Let me set the scene. Okay. Storytelling at its best.
Once upon a time.
Once upon a time, in 2008, there was a thing called the Lehman Brothers.
Crisis.
Prime. So, it was 2008, and I really thought at that point, I was 36 years old, I thought, this is an opportunity for me to try being in the food business. And of course, entry level is hawker because your capex investment is obviously a lot lower. And I thought, let's give it a go. I'm 36 years old. If I don't try now, I'll never know. And that's what I did. I became a hawker. I started selling nasi lemak at Maxwell Food Centre. From finding out where you buy oil in 17 kilogram drums and sacks of rice that arrive 50 kilograms at a go. It was not even a steep learning curve. It was a straight line, vertical line.
Wow.
Yeah. So I did that, and from the bidding of the hawker store from NEA, and even how do you turn on the gas and electricity? No idea. How to fry ikan bilis.
Own self catch and fry.
Because you always, as a home cook, you just buy them fried already. You have no idea where to buy ikan bilis from in the first place and how to fry them to the correct doneness. And then old wives' tale, they'll tell you, you need to wash the ikan bilis first, which is tip for you guys, home cooks, that's not true.
No,
you just deep fry it.
Yeah, of course, because the oil will kill everything anyway.
Yes, correct. And the salt will fall away.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yes.
So you have to deep fry it. I mean, I know mom sometimes puts it in the toaster.
You can microwave it.
Microwave.
Yes,
But
1
tell-
minute.
Tell mom no need to
though.
wash
It's
already.
extra crispy in the microwave.
In microwave?
Yes.
This I got to try. Thank you then.
Yeah, I actually have started doing a series of reels in which I call it cheats nasi lemak. So you can make nasi lemak in less time, and the accoutrements that come with nasi lemak.
The wajah-wajah?
Accoutrements. What comes with it.
Thank you.
So it's interesting though, because you said you started off doing nasi lemak, but nasi lemak, so you have all this in your head already, is it? You know how to cook already, and then you just went out there. Because, I'm going to do nasi lemak, so
but
here's the recipe.
Surely you must have given some thought before saying, okay,
Why
I'm going
nasi
to bid for a
lemak?
stall and do
Exactly.
nasi lemak.
No, it was because I literally looked at the market and I saw that nasi lemak is a dish that you can have any time of the day. It's typically a breakfast dish.
Yes.
But back in the day when we got drunk, there's a place called Mount Faber Nasi Lemak.
Oh yeah. At that bus terminal down there, right?
At Tanjong Pagar near Tebu. And I remember going there to
I've
eat.
never been.
Yes, it's along Kritaya Road, and you could have it if you're sozzled. And NUS there's also
NUS,
nasi lemak
Fong
Fong
Sing.
Sing,
Yes.
right? So it's a dish that can be had at any time, and you can always upscale it by adding accoutrements,
Like chicken wing.
chicken wings,
Yeah,
otak
stuff.
and stuff, and other things. So from a business point of view, it actually makes sense. And that's something that you could also franchise at a later point of time if you wanted to.
And nasi lemak also kind of goes across all
Cultures.
right?
Exactly. Chinese people eat it. Malays eat it. It is a Malay dish
Yes.
at the end of the day.
Yes.
But, it cuts across all lines and barriers. So that's when I sat down and I thought, how can I make this dish familiar, but also more delicious to a point that, I like the rice to be lemak, but to have balance, not just pandan flavor, also to be fluffy, to be zingy, yet to have a little bit of earthiness. And I developed that recipe as a result of that, sitting down to think.
My goodness. Wow.
You need a recipe?
Yeah, I will. So it's like science and art
Yes.
combined.
Yes.
Right? Because you need to combine flavors, which means it's science, chemistry, yet coming out with how it looks and how the texture and all that is art, what? Right?
I would call it a craft.
A craft. Okay,
Yes.
well, arts and crafts.
Yeah. I actually think cooking is a craft, and that we constantly are in search of bettering our craft, right? And science and technology helps us be better at this craft. Yeah, and flavor and taste is closely linked to science. The art of the science of umami and how meats and proteins react at different temperatures. All these things, you can learn about it, and you can teach yourself how to make something better.
So let's get an idea as to your philosophy, your own take as to food and ingredients. I mean, how do you understand them, and what do you understand about food and what it means to you, how it resonates with you?
At this juncture, right, every chef will talk about their grandmother or their mother.
Actually, you're kind of right, though. I mean, yeah.
Especially the Italian, right?
Well, or French.
Or anybody.
Anybody, yeah, you're right, yeah.
And to be fair, I think it is the fact that food and its memory is very much tied to nostalgia.
Yes.
Right. And a maternal figure.
Yes.
So
Absolutely.
that's why there's always this story about my grandmother used to make this. And unfortunately or fortunately, I have this hoary chestnut to bring out. In that when my parents got divorced, I actually went to live with my grandmother. My mother and I went to live with my grandmother in a 3-room flat in Tiong Bahru Road. There was 7 of us living in this 2-bedroom flat, right? And my grandmother, at that point, I was a very picky eater. I didn't eat a lot of things. I was very skinny. Obviously, I'm not now. And she fostered that love for cooking and for eating. And she's Cantonese. So the Cantonese are very much informed in a certain way for their cooking.
Thanks.
It is very clean flavors, but it's very luxurious in the sense that it's fresh. Freshness is paramount. The ingredients need to be fresh, and I think I've carried that bit of culinary philosophy into my life. It needs to nourish, whether it is physically as well as emotionally, because the act of cooking it is very healing for the person.
Yes. I find that too, because I love to cook and find that therapeutic.
Yes.
You leave the cares of the day behind, or your life behind, actually, because you have to concentrate on this. Your finger gets chopped off, right?
Yeah.
And then you start to plan.
Yep.
You start to for me, I start to experiment. I open my fridge and I go, oh, I've got only these sauces. What can I do with them? Does that happen to you as well? That kind of...
And it's very meditative.
Yeah, meditative.
Yeah. So running is the other thing I do, which is very meditative. So while I run, I think about what I would like to cook or what menus I would like to create, to distract myself from the awful pain.
Oh, you still can think when you run. Try not to fall down.
Yeah. So coming back to what food means to me, that it means so many things. Philosophically, it means nourishment. It means care. It means love. And then for me as a person who works with food, then we need to think about what it means for the greater good, right? That we need to be feeding people, not just ourselves. Like selfishly, I know that cooking is an act of love for myself and for my loved ones, but let's take that and expand it a step further. Is everybody eating a good meal? Is everybody being nourished? Is the average person not in survival mode and just trying to survive, and they're not making good decisions about their life, and they're eating whatever is available.
Yeah, I get what you mean, because then Then nutrition-wise, right?
It's not ideal.
It's not ideal.
Yeah.
Because, well, we'll talk about that, and also cost of living has gone up. So I'll go for the cheapest option, which may not nourish me.
Yes, and which I will not need to cook. So the hierarchy and socioeconomics of it, I know this is getting very political, but the fact is, if I'm working 14 hours a day, I don't want to go home and cook a meal.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to eat a
tired.
hawker meal, or I'm going to eat fried chicken because you know what? Cha-ching, I'm going to get a lot of dopamine from that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I just read recently that in France, in Paris, and in France,
Yeah, people are getting fatter
fast
because they're eating
food.
burgers.
You read that?
Yes.
Because it's fast, it's cheap. Well, forget about fast, but and also because it's affordable.
Yes.
It's and they just go
And
grab and go.
it gives you loads of dopamine.
Right.
Because if you are living a not so ideal life, you know, what could be better than, like, just for yourself, take yourself for an example. After a hard day's work, you come back and be like, oh my God, I'm going to rip into that cheesecake, right?
Right.
Or fried chicken or whatever.
I should have a camera in my home. So.
You better eat properly. I know, right? From that, your philosophy of food and life, what defines you? Because you're a self-taught chef, as we say, right? And a lot of people say, oh, I went to Cordon Bleu and I have learned how to cook the egg and all that thing. I don't know why I got French accent come out.
or the CIA. We're not talking about the...
CIA as well.
Yeah. Culinary Institute of America.
Not the other CIA.
Oh, so well, you go to Texas to get fried chicken. So you have not done all that. How have you grappled with imposter syndrome?
Oh yeah, massively, every day.
Is it every day? Really? Why?
I mean, have you had people say like, oh, you don't have all these qualifications, you didn't come from these schools, then like, you really can cook?
Oh, all the time.
People say that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, even when my first restaurant, they'll be like, you didn't come up through the ranks. You have no idea. You didn't go to culinary school. And, you would hire sous chefs, especially the cantankerous older men.
No, for sure.
Yeah,
most
they're
of
not
them
going to
would
take direction from a young whippersnapper woman. Yeah. So, it was very much a fact of what do you know? You are just not a chef. You're not a real chef.
You just parachuted in from don't know where.
So how do you deal with all that?
Yeah.
I think you have to actually not give a flying F. Yeah.
So just say whatever I do, you're successful, right? I mean,
I don't know. I mean, am I?
well,
I mean, if it's in the dish, if it's in the cooking, if
Yeah.
it's in the reviews.
the proof is in the pudding.
Pudding. Even though you don't do the pudding, but
Wow.
Let's see how many food puns and saying
we're quite punny today.
similes we can put in. I like to think that I'm successful because I have the luxury to choose. Yeah, I'm not tied to a hot line. I don't have a bad back. I'm in the pink of health.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I'm sober. I'm now sober for 6 years, which to me is a mark of success. I lead a very healthy, privileged life. And to me, that's success. Yeah.
Okay. And I was going to ask because so it's such a cutthroat world, the culinary world. Do you chase it? Do you what? I mean, success you say is what you've got, but then what next though?
So I think this is a very philosophical question, right? It applies to any industry because then once you've climbed Mount Everest, then you go, what's next?
Go in space with what's
I
his
mean,
name? Musk?
right? So, and this is my personal philosophy. I believe that there are limits in life. Like when you were young, you always wanted to drink a lot of alcohol and you couldn't because you just couldn't afford it, right? Then when you grew older, you could afford it, but there's a limit because your body can't take it. And so same with food, rich food, you couldn't afford it when you're young and you can't. So there is a limit. And I think it's up to you to redefine what success means to you.
And may I borrow the word limit as well? Because going back to that earlier question about, you didn't come from those prestigious culinary schools, but also not having come from them, would you see that it also then releases you from having certain limitations placed on you, or certain structures and systems and these institutional downloads that you only can do food this way or that way, and there's certain structures to it?
Yeah, precisely. I mean, if you look at the typical French brigade, which is what the modern kitchen is based on, it is you have the executive chef, the head chef, and then sous chef, blah, 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 and all that. And it runs like the military, because basically that's what they wanted to do. They broke down the tasks into like boring, like, okay, you do salad, you do hot, blah, blah, blah. And I think if you are not boxed in by those ideas, then you can do whatever you want. And you do what makes sense for you from a creative and operational point of view.
Then in that case, if that you have to really trial and error quite a while, right, before you find your process, your system to work.
Well,
wouldn't it be
my
really
partner
tiring?
actually says that I am very strange, but in a good way, in that I am oddly specific.
Oddly specific.
Yeah, so even when I create recipes, it takes me 2 times, to create a recipe, because I will weigh every ingredient and I will time it and I will know what is right and what is not. So once that process has been developed, then you just write it up as a process. These processes are then handed over to the next person.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Can you teach me? I'm very all over the place.
Which makes sense then, because I think you're also, one who loves to share recipes, which makes it easier rather than to say, oh, just take a pinch of that and a dash of this. And, it's also like, vague.
It's anathema to me, the vagueness. So one time I actually called my mother for a curry chicken recipe. I said, how do you cook curry chicken? And she was like, 30 cents worth of shallots.
30. Okay.
And that stuck in my head forever.
Yeah.
And I was like, 30 cents of shallots? Like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah.
Even a handful of shallots is terrible. Is it peeled, unpeeled? Your hand, my hand, Hosean's hand?
Yeah.
So I actually loathe unspecific things. Yeah.
But therein would be the way our, the previous generations would otherwise pass down their recipes, right? They wouldn't be in such measured terms and specific terms.
But then, you see, I think that's their explanation for the magic. So that this recipe will always be mine. If you were truly interested in passing on your recipes and sharing the methodology, you would keep it as specific as possible. That's the template. If you choose to vary from this template, that's absolutely fine. But you must understand the foundational science that goes behind, that lies under the method.
Wow, that's wow. Okay, because I'm just thinking now, because mom, going back to our generational foods, because I like to cook, and I remember grandma Papa used to do these Hakka dishes, which apparently now doesn't exist anymore because it's all lost. So I've asked mom for the recipe.
Specifically which dish?
You know the vinegar pork.
Yeah. She does it still.
My mom does it still, but so I asked mom, it's vinegar pork with cucumber. So it's very interesting. I think got black beans.
Got black beans.
Yeah. So I said, this is very interesting. It's sourish, sweetish, salty, yet refreshing. And Papa never had this is like how many grams of this? It's just like nah, you know. So my mom wrote it down. In her way, like 1 teaspoon, one this of that. And I tried it, and I realized that actually it's difficult, because for her that's her way of doing it, but it might not necessarily the taste outcome doesn't necessarily equate to what grandma used to cook.
Yeah.
So then you have to titrate to play with it to make it that, I think.
And don't forget that memory is probably a false memory as well.
Yeah.
What you tasted when 30 years ago is probably very different from your taste buds now.
True.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So one of my favorite dishes growing up was this dish my grandma called satay pork. And I wrote about it, in my book. And And when I asked her what it was called, she said satay pork. And I was like, much like 45 years later, as I'm writing about this dish, and I'm like, it's not satay pork. It's nowhere near satay pork. It doesn't have any of those satay flavors, right?
Yeah.
There's no turmeric. There's no
peanuts.
there's not a
No
lot
peanuts.
of ginger, no peanuts.
Wow.
And then I realized it's actually sacha pork.
Sacha as well.
Sacha is actually a condiment that the Hokkien and the Teochews brought back from Southeast Asia to China. So in China, it's called sacha, this condiment. And then they use it, they make a jar of it, and then they fry it with vegetables or chicken or pork. And that's what my grandma had been making for me.
And called it satay pork.
Exactly. It is also called satay in China.
Lost in translation.
Exactly. Isn't it fascinating?
Yes.
So the anthropology of food is fascinating because in various Southeast Asian countries, you have one thing and it's used for another thing, or it could be called this thing and called another thing, and it's a totally different dish.
Hey, you're a documentary waiting to happen, eh? Really?
Like Singapore noodles and how it's just really curry bihun.
Yes, and it's raw. It's not even cooked properly. The first time I had it in London, I was so angry.
You know how funny, because I was at Raffles Hotel a few months ago, and then I was just sitting there, and then this tours around Raffles Hotel, right? The historian, and there's two. I think the British, and they were like, "Oh, we can you please tell us where to find Singapore noodles in Singapore?"
Right.
And the poor guy was like, apa ni Singapore noodle? What's that we talking about? Then he's like, no, we got mee rebus. No, we're looking for Singapore noodles. Singapore noodles. Then I was like, so I had to say something because I was filming like, sorry, but what do you mean there's best Singapore noodles? So no, in London we have Singapore noodles all the time, So I'm like, sorry, I don't have So you got Hokkien mee, I give it a whole. Then finally I realized what it was. It possibly could be the cha bee hoon.
No, it's Xingzhou
Mi fen.
mi fen.
Which is
They
what?
called it is actually from Hong Kong.
see
So pre-1997, when there was an exodus of all these Cantonese chefs from Hong Kong, they went to London and they made this curry fried bee hoon, and they call it Xingzhou mi fen. Xingzhou mi fen. And you find versions of it in Sydney,
Yeah, in Sydney,
London,
yes.
and in the US as well, because all these Canto chefs had gone there.
Yeah, so it's like fried bee hoon, right?
in curry-
But
with curry powder.
In curry powder.
Raw curry powder.
But,
There's no rempah at all.
Like
It's
the-
very
take
dry
fried
and
bee hoon,
raw.
take one powder, but say in the
It's
mixer.
boho jia.
Okay, thanks.
So I wonder whether the Hong Kong people have Hong Kong noodles in Hong Kong. No,
Because Hong Kong, I've seen Hong Kong noodles.
I
right?
don't know, but
I love Hong Kong noodles
this
here.
is the history of the Xingzhou mi fen.
I see. Well, there you've heard it here on the Leong Form podcast, where to find Singapore noodles and what it means. My goodness.
Yeah. Well, but let's talk about again, chef, your journey through the culinary scene. Starting off as going back to Maxwell Food Centre, where you set up a hawker stall that specialized in nasi lemak. Looks like you were not content with that, because after that you went into restaurants as well, and you had 2 restaurants along the way. One happened to be at Raffles Hotel as well, which we were just alluding to. So tell us about upping the game, if you like, from moving from hawker to restaurant. I mean, that sounds like a totally different ballgame altogether, even though you're still in F&B.
Massively. And I think what we don't talk about enough for the F&B industry in Singapore is that whilst there are many people who want to be the next Gordon Ramsay, to be in the chef shouting at other chefs, right? We lack staff in the front of house. So the problem actually that I had with opening or being part of 2 restaurants was that I became so removed from doing the very thing I loved, which is cooking.
Yeah.
Because you're constantly putting out fires, front of house,
Operations.
operationally going out to buy coconut milk because someone forgot to order, stuff like that. And yeah, kids just say no.
You mean the younger workers?
Yeah, just say no to I don't know. I mean, it just takes a lot out of you, and
Of course.
you're up all nights worrying about money, worrying about your
bottom line,
margins, you worry
margins.
about marketing, worry about this and that. And it's just no fun anymore.
So if that's the case, if you're talking about manpower problems, right? Because it's a perennial problem in Singapore.
Yeah.
Everybody cannot find manpower. And then, I mean, of course, because there's a quota, right?
Yep.
You need if to employ so many Singaporeans to so many foreign workers. But then again, the Singaporeans complain. They say, we got no job we got no job we don't, I want to work, So many vacancies. Why aren't you working? I'm asking because it's such a,
I don't know if it's going to be
Right.
horribly tone deaf. It's hard work.
of course it's hard work.
And
Yeah.
it all boils down to this. How much respect do we give to people who work in the food industry?
Absolutely, yeah.
So those people who don't want to work in the food industry, you got your answer. Because they don't want to be subjected to the abuses that people in the food and F&B industry suffer.
Suffer, yeah.
Yeah.
In hospitality.
Very
yeah,
unpleasant.
Yeah.
I have been on the receiving end more often than not, especially as a hawker, because people think I'm an idiot. That's why I'm a hawker. Mind you, it is not the rich people or the very poor. It is the middle class that treat you like dirt.
Yes. I've seen it as well, and not just here, but also in Malaysia, where it just don't have the courtesy and the empathy, and it's like, hey,
Yeah.
where's my water? It's
Yeah.
like, why? What's with you? It's
Yeah.
like things like that. So okay, yeah, it riles me up.
Yeah,
it does.
Same. And it's a chicken and egg situation, right?
Yeah.
We need professionals working in the F&B industry. You're not dilettantes. You cannot have people who just are part-time workers. Then of course service sucks,
of course,
right?
yes.
So then it comes down to the economics of it. What are you willing to pay?
Wow. On that note, my friend tried. He experimented. He advertised for a restaurant manager, 10,000 Sing dollars. Nobody applied. You see?
10,000, nobody
Applied. No Singaporean applied.
It's interesting because, one of my favorite Hunan restaurants, Xiang Xiang, their recruitment board is up all the time. And I think just to be an ordinary chef is $3,500. Like
Okay.
not head chef, just, I guess, 自差 the thing. Yeah. And to be like on the floor waiter is also $3,500.
And
It's a significant amount of
it's
money.
a lot of money, yeah. Yeah. Well, there you go.
I guess we can be quite picky, but again, maybe it's like what you say, Chef. Just the image and the reputation of what it takes to work in F&B in that setting, and like you say, being abused and being treated roughly in that sense, not just by the people you work with, but even by customers who are not appreciative of the fact of what you do.
Yeah.
So it's like you're being shot both sides,
Yeah.
both ends.
And as a business owner as well, Google reviews are savage.
Yeah.
Just go and look at the 1-star reviews. Completely unreasonable. I mean,
course.
if you got bad food, fair enough,
Yeah.
Give your honest review as to why it's bad, service was bad, blah, blah, blah. But not because we were not open on the day that you thought we were going to be open.
Yeah.
That does not warrant a 1-star review.
So that maybe let's jump to this, because now that we're talking about restaurants and the problems that Singapore is facing, or maybe even worldwide. F&B in the macro lens, okay? How would you describe it now? Because there's been a bloodbath. Restaurants closing left, right, center.
Yeah.
Last year, 3,000 F&B outlets closed. Now, Gaso closed. Gaso
Food
I
century.
love the Ha Cheong Kai.
Yeah.
Privé closed, etc., etc. So, what are your thoughts about this?
I will speak honestly, right? And maybe not so politically correctly about it, because at the end of the day, it's a business, right? We need to make money, because if not, nobody gets paid, right?
Yes.
So restaurants close because it's a culling. It's survival of the fittest, right? I mean, we can agree it's brutal out there. So if you can't make money, then you have to close, right? And I know Cedric from Castle as well. I think it's taken a toll on him, poor guy,
poor
on
guy.
him and his brother. So if he weighs everything up economically, if I can work a job that doesn't involve me working 80 hours a week, and then we make very little money after we pay everybody else,
Yeah.
it's a no-brainer. And the
No-brainer.
strain on your mental health is inescapable. Yeah. So what does it mean if we zoom out, right? The reality is that, first of all, you are going to have probably only two kinds of restaurants. The Michelin starred, even then,
They're
no
closing too.
guarantee,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you are not the 3 stars or 2 stars, forget it. And those people have backers.
Yeah.
So in the lull months, when somebody needs to come out with cash, the backers need to come out with cash. And it's probably a vanity project to some extent. It is not really about
Passion.
money.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah, to make money.
Right,
Because
right,
if you worked on numbers alone, you should close them all. Right. Then you have the hawkers who feed the masses. Okay, and what's going to happen is that the small independent hawker is all going to go away. The guy who chars your char kway teow, who does the Hokkien mee, all chai tao kueh, all these will close because they can't survive.
Yeah.
Right? It's all going to be fishball noodles, chicken rice, duck rice, etc., etc. All from the central kitchen and being sent out. The skill level on the ground will be very, very low. So you could theoretically get a robot to dispense the food.
I'm very depressed now.
Yes. It's such
So for a
so
country
bleak.
that prides itself on our food culture, our hawker
Yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
what are we doing to maintain, to let it flourish? I don't think it's fair to point the finger at the government because who pays at the end of the day? It's us.
Yes.
We are responsible.
Yes.
We are responsible for what we have. You get what you give. Yeah. And it sounds, I'm not blaming every Singaporean, but we all have a part to play. So I feel, okay, this is my opinion.
Sure.
Okay. Everybody can trash me if they want to. This is my opinion. Hawker food and eating out should be a luxury. And you should pay what you should pay to enjoy this luxury. In the meantime, you need to eat at home so that you nourish your body. What can the government do to support this? Is that we need to have a better system to support those who can't afford to do this. I don't know. I'm not an economist. Maybe it's a universal income. Maybe it is a kitchen at the bottom of the void deck, because we have all these empty void decks
Exactly,
where
yeah.
we
Well, you can't play
can,
football, so
yes, where we have a small kitchen and people who volunteer, because don't forget, we're also in the midst of a dementia apocalypse, because people retire at 60, 65 and they sit around on their iPads doing nothing. Why not recruit this portion of the population? Come downstairs, cook food for everybody.
that's a very good idea.
Yeah,
actually.
and actually that has already been put in practice, especially by some
places.
family service centers and residence committees as well. Like I know of some areas where there are rental blocks, and some of them do this. They invite the residents who are able to contribute to come down, and they've got that shared kitchen. They cook for each other. They cook for 40, 50 people, and then invite those from
Yep.
rental homes who may not have the ability to or means to come down and enjoy a meal, a lunch.
Yeah.
Or those who can't come down, it will be delivered
You
to
can
them.
think out it,
Yes.
or somebody can send it to them.
But I guess we need to scale this up more. I mean, this idea of what you just mentioned.
I think the government can support this idea by providing the void deck and building that little space, right? And then everybody can just have. Look, I believe firmly that everybody needs a raison d'être. If you do not have that, then you are aimless.
yeah.
You lose the will to live.
Yeah. And it's becoming quite, like you say, a pandemic about this.
Of dementia.
Of dementia.
Aging population that we have.
Yes.
I have no more purpose. I retire. What am I going to do? I sit avoid there, stare at the wall.
Or complain about the government.
Or complain.
Yeah, complain about the government. And say, how is this helpful or useful? It's not. Why don't you take your time and your hands and help? Cook something. It may not be the most delicious meal, but with practice, it will get better.
And nutritious as well.
Yeah.
Which ministry should I rant to now?
I was going to say SFA, but maybe it's more than SFA. But you also, apart from, being a own-self make chef, you are also trying to help other people own-self become their own chef.
Yes, that's right.
And you've come up with a book. Okay, this is where I'm slightly unsure. Is the book already out? Because you were working on a book.
No.
Or it's not out yet. Okay, so it's still in the oven.
Yes.
All right, tell us more about this.
Wow, still in the oven. Not bad, ah.
Another cooking plant.
Tell us more about this book, and I believe it will encapsulate recipes as well.
Yes. So, 10 years ago, I was asked to write a cookbook, and I just thought, does the world really need another cookbook?
Yeah.
And I think I just thought to myself, I don't really think I have a story to tell at this juncture. And really, it's going to be a cookbook about nasi lemak, and then the sambals, and then the fried chicken, blah, 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 fried fish. And I just thought, no, I'm not ready yet. But last year, I actually thought, I now have a story to tell, and it's a memoir of sorts. It's part cookbook, it's part memoir, and it is called Own Self Make Chef. It's a recipe for a better life, in which I talk about how food changed my life at every juncture. When I was a kid, I wouldn't eat, and my mother made me eat these horrible American breakfasts, like bacon, sausages,
baked beans.
eggs.
Because you wouldn't eat, she made you eat that.
Exactly.
Why?
So it's like keto diet, no?
Wow, so young keto already.
Yeah, I was like 5 years old. Can you
Oh, my
imagine
goodness.
having to eat that massive amount of food in the morning? And then obviously going to my grandmother's, where, she changed my relationship with food. And then just even talking about my eating disorders later in life, which I think a lot of women struggle with. I think it's 75% of women have had or have an eating disorder.
That's a huge number.
Yeah.
Wow. So this book will feature all these turning points in your life.
Yes. Yeah. And the recipes that
And the
came with
recipes.
it. Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So surely there will be nasi lemak recipe in there.
Of course. There will be nasi lemak recipes. There will be a kong bao recipe. In fact, there will be recipes that got me started in cooking, because I went away to Sydney and lived in Sydney, and I missed carrot cake.
Oh,
right?
cai tao kueh.
Cai tao kueh.
The black or the white?
Black.
I grew up in black too. Yeah.
And I actually bought a fried carrot cake. What I thought was fried carrot cake, it was yam cake, and I was so angry. I
Where?
paid
In Sydney?
market City.
Haymarket.
Haymarket, yeah. 10 Aussie dollars. That time is $13 Sing, I'm very angry, I ate that time, my face very black, like the carrot cake. The texture is completely wrong.
Yeah, of
And I
course.
went home, and there weren't food blogs then, really. And I called my mom and said, how do you make carrot cake? She's like, I think it's like that. Of course, terrible advice. But managed to get daikon radish, grate it, steam it, had this giant pan of carrot cake, and then cut it out and fried it.
There you go.
But then, having said that, you talk about Sydney, right? So I want to draw the comparison between Sydney and Singapore, in the sense that eating out is crazy expensive in Sydney, and in ways Singapore as well, if you're not looking at hawker centers and stuff. So you, like you said earlier, you encourage people to cook at home for nutrition, for, I guess, sharing a meal with your family and even friends sometimes. Is that price difference really that much different?
For
Cooking
in
at
Singapore,
home and eating out? Because sometimes I buy stuff that it's not cheap either.
So the price of the produce already is
produce has gone up as well.
So what you have to understand is that, of course, there is that intangible benefit, which is making that food,
yeah, of
right?
course.
And taking it out. Okay, fine. Let's take that away. The quality of the ingredients that you're using is, of course, better than what is going to be used in a hawker setting. They are going to use the oils have been used and reused. They are quite inflammatory. There's a lot of deep frying. There's a lot more salt and sugar in those dishes. Whereas when you own self-make, you decide how much goes in.
True.
Yeah. So recently I've taken to making chicken rice because my partner really has had a hankering for chicken rice, and you can do it very easily in the rice cooker.
Okay.
You don't have to poach the chicken. You just pan-sear the chicken, boneless chicken thigh, because everybody wants thigh meat, right?
Yes.
Actually, no, I like breast meat.
You like breast. I
okay.
like the drumstick thigh.
You monster.
I know. With the skin. Of course, right?
Okay.
With the skin.
Yeah. So you pan-sear, hard sear on the skin side, and then put it into the rice cooker. Then done.
That's it. Oh. Then ginger, shallots, or whatever we call it.
You blend it and put it in. Yeah. Then you can use chicken stock or
Okay, I will talk to you later about how to make.
So this book, tell us when we can expect it.
Well, I started a year ago and I actually did finish it by May this year, but I'm doing a second pass because I feel that there needs to be more.
Just like the recipes, you always do it twice before you finally get it.
Yes, yeah. So there needs to be a little bit more detail and storytelling because that's what it is, right? Even with food or if plays, it's telling a story. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm going back, filling in a bit of detail, setting the scene a little better, and not just about the recipes. Although the recipes, I think, are a nice touch to the whole package. Yeah.
Okay,
so I hope, because we will need to shoot photographs, which I might do myself. I haven't decided.
Own self shoot, own self.
Yeah. Because everything you see on my page, I do myself.
Okay.
So, yeah, maybe I hope, the publishers, maybe next year. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, we look forward to that.
Yeah, we definitely do.
But besides food, though, you have other things on your plate as well.
Another pun. And that, I believe, would be about women's health, of which you also have a passion for. So tell us about what you're doing in that area.
Well, obviously, I'm a woman.
Okay.
But my partner actually is a doctor who specializes in women's health. And, I think that for the longest time, women felt unheard when it came to their health. And, especially when we are aging, Generation X is now menopausal or perimenopausal, there's a lot of information flying around. A lot of it is hyperbole, and I think that's why we started this website and this web resource really just to address the issues that people were talking about, like why do I gain weight when I go into menopause? Why do I feel like killing my husband? No, jokes aside. But other things like nutrition as well, like eating well. Is there such a thing as detoxification supplements, stuff like that? So I think just clearing out
debunk the myths and,
Exactly.
and state the truths and stuff, the
And-
facts.
And another passion of mine is actually dementia. How can we prevent it? Because there's a lot of talk about
You can prevent it?
you can stave it off as long as
onset.
possible.
Okay.
Because once you have it, there is no cure.
Sure.
So the result of us living in modern day times is that we are living in a very toxic environment, whether it is stress, whether it's the environment, like physical poisons, that has brought on, if you notice, there's a lot more cases of early onset
right?
dementia. Yes.
Yeah.
And the statistics for dementia, Alzheimer's, is once you're above 85, it's a 1 in 2 chance.
Oh my goodness.
50% of you will be demented.
Okay. All right. So we can we can go on this channel and find out how to stave it off, and we're on now.
Is dementia a totally different topic from the channel that you have on YouTube, which is called the Women's Channel?
The Women's
Healthline. The Women's Healthline.
We will mention it from time to time because, it affects everybody, especially women, because we end up being the caregivers for everybody.
Because women also tend to live longer.
Yes, yeah.
So the Instagram handle for that is the Women's Health Line
Yep.
on IG, and you've got a YouTube channel called
The Women's Health Line.
Health Line.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. What about yourself though? If people find out more about your life and what you're doing next and all that, do you have your own Instagram stuff?
Yeah, mine is Chef Shen Tan, and it's really about whatever catches my fancy about cooking. You know, I love to read, and currently I'm on a memoirs binge about F&B personalities.
Okay.
Obviously, because I'm writing my own memoir, but it is very interesting what everybody has been through. There are common threads. We are all, I think, slightly obsessive. Once the hyperfixation kicks in, you know, you can't tear us away. So for me, it's about developing recipes. It's about shooting them, filming myself, you know, even doing the edits, telling the story, what's the idea behind this dish. Yeah.
Busy, huh?
Very busy, apart from also still running your own private dining as well, which is own self-made chef.
That's right.
And when people who want to hire you can go onto the website.
Yes, it's ownselfmadechef.com.
Okay.
But fair warning, I'm sold out for the rest of the year.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm very selective because I have a full cup to drink from.
Fantastic.
So that's ownselfmakechef.com. You can also find Shen on Instagram at Chef Shen Tan, as well as at ownselfmakechef.
Fantastic. Well, thank you so much, Shen, for joining us. I mean, I've learned a lot, and I hope everything will go well for you in the coming months and the book and all that. Hope we wish you all the success of that.
Yeah, maybe we'll come back for a book tour.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Huh? Do it.
Well, definitely a lot more turning points ahead for Chef Shen Tan, as it might be for you as well, tuning in to this episode of The Leong Form.
Exactly. You can always tune in on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, as well as the YouTube channel, The Leong Form. Now, if you've got any comments, please leave it wherever you want to leave it. If you've got questions for Shen as well, you can always ask her via us, and we will get back to you. So till then, the next episode. See you later. Bye.
Bye.